The Chambly Blue and Gold presents Speaking of, your monthly news update, hosted by Kanal Goyle.
Welcome to the second installment of Speaking of, your Chambly news update. I'm your host, Kunal. Chambly Spring Sports, or in other words, teams that actually make the playoffs, are finally here, bringing about our new segment, Bad Sport One-Liners. We'll start with the great sport of tennis. Why can you never fall in love with a tennis player? Because to them, love means nothing. Sorry, ladies. Yeah, that's me. Anyways, next we have golf. Wait a second. Why is that on the list? Who put that there? That's not even a real sport. Sorry about that. For the soccer joke, I had to consult my personal joke expert, the milk cartons we get in the cafeteria. Why was the soccer stadium so windy? Because of all the fans. It's a boring sport. It's a boring joke. What do you want? Last but not least, we have baseball. What does a baseball player and Michael Jackson have in common? They both wear a glove for no apparent reason. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been Bad Sport One-Liners. Speaking of baseball, the Atlanta Braves have sent ripples through the major leagues by signing brothers BJ and Justin Upton to join Jason Hayward in the outfield. Consequently, the Braves have opened their new slogan for the upcoming year, Blacks in the Back of the Diamond. Speaking of racial undertones, the president of Emory has been in the news recently as he wrote an article for the New York Times where, when trying to give an example of two sides working together, he used the 3/5 compromise, which during slave times determined for tax purposes that slaves were 3/5 of the white man. Which brings us to another segment. Really? Come on. Really, Emory president? I know Congress isn't getting anything done now, but you had to go that far back to when black people were still slaves for an example of people working together? No wonder Emory doesn't have a football team. Come on, man. South African Olympic runner Oscar Pistorius has also been in the news recently for murdering his girlfriend. Now, if you don't know the story, Oscar got famous because he was born with a condition that forced doctors to amputate his legs as a baby. Through hard work and some blade attachment to his thighs, Oscar learned how to run and is now an Olympic medal winner. Now, everyone's all surprised that he murdered his own girlfriend, but really, I'm not. I mean, since he was born, he's had no good support structure. Now, if you liked that joke, you're gonna love these next two. After being detained, Pistorius was recently released on bail of $112,000, which is more than usual, which is ironic because that's the exact same price as a pair of prosthetic legs. Too far, but blacks in the back was okay, right? Anyways, Pistorius' lawyers have argued that Pistorius only shot his girlfriend because he thought there was a burglar. But really, I mean, if the "I just thought it was a burglar" excuse worked, half the wives around the world would be dead. I mean, come on. Carnival cruise ships have been in the news recently, as a major cruise ship lost all power and sewage control for 3 days. And everybody's making a big deal because some rich people had to deal with some sewage overflow. Really, guys? I'm from India. And that has been, really? Come on. Speaking of human waste, the DeKalb County School Board is in limbo right now, as everyone has decided to fire themselves for incompetence and then appeal the decisions to be fired. Governor Nathan Deal has accepted the recommendation to fire 6 of the 9 board members, and to avoid so much corruption in the future, Deal has nominated Bernie Madoff and his henchmen to take their positions. Speaking of needing to be replaced, Pope Benedict XVI has finally realized that the only thing he had left to give up for Lent was his position as Pope. Now, along with the final resignation of the Pope has come all the rumors of perhaps a gay sex scandal or money laundering in the church. But this, if anything, has proved him to be a good Catholic. I mean, he pulled out just before finishing the job. Speaking of scandals, the Tesco horse meat scandal, which started in Europe, has been exposed, as hundreds of supposed burgers were actually containing horse meat. Again, I'm surprised at the outcry about this. Am I the only one who's surprised they're actually putting meat in those fast food burgers? I mean, what's next? Are they going to tell us there's real chicken in McDonald's nuggets? And seriously, how many times during the day do you hear someone say, "I'm so hungry I could eat a horse," and now you find out you have been and you're all upset? Just go back, eat your burger, and try to avoid looking in mirrors as usual. In Russia, hundreds were injured, and the world's attention was captured as a meteor shower rained down on the country. Wait a second. Meteors in Russia? A snowstorm in Texas? Dennis Rodman is our diplomat in North Korea? Alright, it's time to come forward. Which one of you has been playing Jumanji? Our final topic of business today is the Obama administration releasing a statement saying that they do have the right to use drones to kill any American citizen suspected